have for you my February wrap-up of what I read during February. That was really redundant, but here are my books. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. As far as telling you what reading challenges they went with, I'll try to give you like a general idea, but some of them I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to place them at. To keep things short and simple, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing as I did last time. Just read the synopsis, tell you what I rated them as, tell you what I'm putting them as, tell you if I loved them or you know. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first book I started in January, but I finished in February, so I'm going to include it in this video. And that is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. The synopsis reads, "It is 1939, Nazi Germany. The country is holding its breath. Death has never been busier, and will become busier still. By her brother's graveside, Liesl Miminger finds her life changed when she picks up a single object partially hidden in the snow. It is the gravedigger's handbook, left there by accident. It is her first act of book thievery. So begins a love affair with books and words as Liesl, with the help of her accordion-playing foster father, learns to read. Soon she is stealing books from Nazi book burnings, the mayor's wife's library, wherever there are books to be found. But these are dangerous times. When Liesl's foster family hides a Jewish man in their basement, Liesl's world is both opened up and closed down. In a superbly crafted writing that burns with intensity, award-winning author Markus Zusak has given us one of the most endearing stories of our time." Oh, it's so good. If you haven't heard anything about this book, you need to pick it up immediately. The narrator is probably one of my favorite parts. It is narrated by Death. This is the book that I decided to do for an author, an Australian author, because he does live in Australia. So as far as my rating, I gave this a 5 stars. Oh, so good, so good, so good. The second book that I completed in February was Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. That's who it's by. Here is the synopsis. Morgan Crow is cursed. Born on Eventide, the unluckiest day for any child to be born, Morgan is blamed for all local misfortunes, from hailstorms to heart attacks, and worst of all, the curse dooms her to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But as Morgan awaits her fate, a strange and remarkable man named Jupiter North appears. Chased by black smoke hounds and shadowy hunters on horseback, he whisks her away into the safety of a secret magical city called Nevermore. It's in Nevermore that Morgan discovers Jupiter has chosen her to contend for a place in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. In order to join and to stay in the safety of Nevermore for good, Morgan must compete in 4 difficult and dangerous trials against hundreds of other children, or she'll have to leave the city and confront her deadly fate. Perfect for fans of Neil Gaiman as well as the Harry Potter and the Mysterious Benedict Society series. This fast-paced plot and imaginative world has a fresh new energy and take on magic that will appeal to all generations, with a story that grabs you from the first page and doesn't let go until the final word. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. My only complaint is that it feels very, very, very much like a Harry Potter meets Alice in Wonderland mashup. The world is very Alice in Wonderland-esque, but the plot is very Harry Potter-esque. This one I am putting for a book without any cuss words, although the author of this was also Australian, so that's pretty interesting. And the next book of this series comes out in October. The last book that I actually completed in February was Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and this is a collector's copy. It was the exact same price as the other one, so I went ahead and got the collector's one. A coming-of-age tale of fan fiction, family, and first love. Kath is a Simon Snow fan. Okay, so the whole world is a Simon Snow fan, but for Kath, being a fan is her life, and she's really good at it. She and her twin sister, Ren, ensconced themselves into the Simon Snow series when they were just kids. It's what got them through their mother leaving. reading, rereading, hanging out in Simon Snow forums, writing Simon Snow fan fiction, dressing up like the characters for every movie premiere. Kath's sister has mostly grown away from the fandom, but Kath can't let it go. She doesn't want to. Now that they're going to college, Bryn has told Kath that she doesn't want to be roommates. Kath is on her own, completely outside her comfort zone. She's got a surly roommate with a charming, always-around boyfriend, a fiction writing professor who thinks fanfiction is the end of the civilized world, a handsome classmate who only wants to talk about words, and she can't stop worrying about her dad, who's loving and fragile and has never really been alone. For Kath, the question is, can she do this? Can she make it without Ran holding her hand? Is she ready to start living her own life? And does she even want to move on if it means leaving Simon Snow behind? This one I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I am struggling to decide how I'm going to put this one in there. I think this one might end up being my book that is set in the Southwest. However, I could also put this one as, and I was planning on putting this one as a book that your friends read in high school. I'm briefly going to mention the last 2 books that I finished out February reading. The audiobook that I've been listening to is The Complete Works of Sherlock Holmes, and I'm still barely through it. I feel like I'm not even halfway through it yet. It's a very, very long audiobook. It's like 60 hours. It's actually 63 hours. But I also did read the majority of Carry On by Rainbow Rowell during that time as well. And this is, I'm calling it a companion novel because it's totally a companion novel. Basically, throughout Fangirl, Kath is writing a fan fiction about Simon Snow, and this is the fan fiction that she wrote about Simon Snow. Like, I mean, she writes all sorts of like little fan fiction short stories, but she was writing this one big one called Carry On Simon, and that is this and this is that. So you will hear my opinions on this and all of that, all of the details related to this in my March wrap up. So yeah, that is everything that I read in February. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos, and check back next week for an extremely exciting announcement. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. So check back next week for a really insanely awesome announcement. I'm so excited! And peace out, Bear Scouts. About your worries and your stress. I mean a bare necessity. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. About your worries and your stress. I mean a